Hey, Content Publications followers, viewers, and supporters. Thank you guys for clicking on my video to see what it is I have to say today. We appreciate your support. Give this video a like. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you are interested in business resources, business grants, how to properly write your business plan, business tips and assistance and advice and things like that. Definitely you want to subscribe to this channel. If you're a writer, you definitely want to subscribe to this channel. We talk self-publishing a lot here. The business of publications in the new era or the new millennium and things like this. So yeah, these are reasons that you might want to subscribe, and you can always come and find information or discussion topics on one of these subjects here. Okay, if you saw the topic discussion of this video, it probably said something like homeschool planning, how you might even be able to decipher whether homeschool is right for you or not, where you can find resources to help you research the homeschool options in your state, because that is something that you're probably going to want to do. Connecting with resource groups in your local community, other homeschool parents, other homeschool coaches. Guys, there's even things like virtual tutors, virtual teachers and instructors and things like this that are willing to help you through your journey. For example, my daughter just the other day seemed like I was doing great helping her with most of her curriculum subjects and studies until she got to fractions, okay? And it was mixed fractions, guys, and it was multiplying and dividing them, and I had totally forgot. Even though I'm in college myself, I was like, woo, I'm a little dusty on this, sweetheart. We're going to have to look into some tutoring for you, because what it is, once that child is no longer in a public school district system, the tutoring and extra coaching, writing coaches and things like this is going to pretty much be your responsibility. Yes, some of these guys are offering these services out here and you have to pay for them. Some of them aren't. So you just want to kind of look into the options that might be available. And then once again, you have many educational programs for K through 12 students. It's all going to come down to the basis of the research that you are willing to do, the curriculum programs, the pace, the hours of study that you are going to be requiring your child to do, whether this is based off of your personal schedule or you have actual educational scheduling goals for your child. Let's say that you're looking to get your child on 7th grade level. Your child is in 3rd grade right now. But in the next 2 years, when it comes to math functions and her writing skills, for example, you'd like to see your child on a 7th grade level by the time of 5th grade, though they're a 3rd grader right now. You totally have the right to want that for your child. The thing is, it's going to take very strategic curriculum planning, course study hour planning, right? I know homeschool parents that have told me, look, we do classes 10 hours a day, Monday through Saturday. Of course, a public school district is not about to have your child at school for 12 hours, maybe 7-8 hours the most, with a little after school tutoring and stuff like that included. But you totally have the right, to make options like this available for your child. So let's talk about things that may help you before you even take the steps of withdrawing your child and going this direction. When I say withdrawing your child, I mean out of public school districts, of course, because homeschooling is not homeschooling unless you've taken that step. Or, y'all, there's so many different things going on today. There are parents who still study with, work with, and make their child study a certain type of way outside of school. I guess you could consider that homeschool as well. But this might help you to collect lessons that you plan to teach, okay? where can you find lessons? We're about to talk about a few links that powerhomeschool.com, for example, is going to have curriculum on their website for ages K through 12, and we're talking up to 400 courses. Some is going to require you to pay, some are absolutely free, right? I'm just going to name a few that I've researched for you guys to kind of help you on that research journey, okay? You get to choose the best curriculum, schedule, and tools and supplies, and order everything right from their platform. And yes, the name of that one is going to be called powerhomeschool.com. There's going to be another one, guys, by the name of goodandbeautiful.com. This is targeted specifically for K through 5 students only, okay? For you K through 5 homeschool parents out there, people that are thinking about going that route, okay? This website, you can expect to gain access to electives, hooked on phonics programs, okay? And access to free downloads of material. A lot of homeschool parents, in case you don't have printers or Wi-Fi at home, you may find yourself spending a lot of time at the public library. Let's talk about the pros and cons. There's nothing ever wrong with the free to the public library, but if something like a shutdown or unfortunate event was to close down these public places again, you still hopefully already have a list of collected lessons and tools and resources at your home that your children can study from, okay? Also, it doesn't hurt to look at platforms, stores, websites, guys, that sell these tools and supplies you'll need for homeschool, right? It's not like the school is going to say, okay, what can we provide you with now that you've decided to withdraw your child and homeschool, right? That's not how that looks. Once again, it's going to be primarily your role, your responsibility to begin to do these things. Now, that shouldn't look any different from every August you being willing to invest $2,000 every fall on school clothes, the best haircuts, and the best shoes for your kid, for school, for PE, for athletics. What else do y'all invest in every school year? School supplies. I'm just having y'all to look at the glass half full instead of half empty when it comes to preparing to homeschool your child and what you might need to go ahead and prepare to invest in. You do it anyway every August, every fall, at that one period peak, right? Just so they're prepared and fully equipped for the next school year, right? They may need graphing calculators, they may need journals, crayon box, map pencils. Y'all know how this goes, especially the K through 12 students. I believe actually the older they get, when you look at that school supplies list every August, the more expensive the list becomes. And that's just the list. Once again, you're still investing in clothing and haircuts and all this kind of stuff too, so your child is prepared to learn. We talk about the pros and cons because some parents have already admitted the homeschooling route has been a more affordable thing when it comes to their budget, especially if they have a household of 4, 5 kids, 6 kids, 3 kids. 2 kids is expensive, guys. So when you talk about multiple kids, you're also investing that much more money every August preparing each and every student for that next school year, right? Why do we have bullying still going on today? Why do we still have separate classes and divisions of children in the public school district? This is why, because even children understand when another little girl is not, her parent is not as fortunate as her parent might have been, just on the basis of something like school shoes, right? Or her parent is dropping her off in the hoopty and her parent is dropping her off in the Mercedes Benz. If y'all think kids don't judge each other like as early as 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, I mean, just on the classes of how you might be living, when every student comes to the public school system to learn. It's not about how much money, because we all know as minors, these guys don't have jobs. These guys are not doing anything for themselves yet, so it's really no child's fault at the end of the day what they are fortunate, what their parents are fortunate to invest in and what their parents aren't. These are the type of things we talk about when we offer these homeschool consultations when you book a consultation with the Crown Publishing Content family. I'm about to talk a little more in a minute about the type of resources soon you guys will also be able to access right from the CrownPublishingContent.com website. And yes, this will include curriculum. This will include tools and supplies, okay? Now, for the low-income parents, we'll have some other options for you guys. That's exciting. No, I'm happy to tell y'all. Of course, the school year of 2022 is just about to end for K through 12 students. As we guys know, this is literally April 29, 2022 as I record this segment. Kids are about to go into the summer break again, and then you'll have the fall come up. Now, all I'm saying is by the fall season, and I've already said this on other segments, just encouraging you guys anyway to be checking in with my website weekly, because we're constantly having service updates and resources that you're going to need, not just as self-published writers and authors and publishers out there, because y'all know that we work with content too, and we work with writers. This is going to look like writing contests, poetry contests, and things like this for the children to get active in this summer. Reading clubs where they can win cash prizes and things like this just for reading every night in the summer. You're not going to know more about that information unless you are checking in with my website weekly. Boom. I had to throw that in there because it still kind of ties into my homeschooling topic. Yeah, because see, when you homeschool, all those extracurricular activities and contests, just like keeping that child very, I don't want to say busy, but very involved, right? Because you're not trying to steal their social life from them just because they begin the homeschool journey. That is not what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is keep them with some structure, because I mean, going to school from home is pretty much as comfortable as it's going to get, and you don't want them like lazy or slacking off and stuff like this just because they're studying from home. So what contests and opportunities and extracurricular activities do for these children, like I said, it provides structure. It still gives them a sense of having some sort of social life, even if you do like a field trip once a month, right? Just because you're a homeschool parent doesn't mean that stuff should be alleviated. You can do trips to the museum, trips to the zoo, trip to science centers. We talked about public libraries already, but just getting them out so they're still social, and even other local programs for children. Everybody universally is pretty much familiar with the Boys and Girls Club, for example, but they're just one example I'm going to use. This is a whole club created for children. Oftentimes, the children who attend these clubs do not go to the same school. So yes, these clubs oftentimes have public school students who attend and also homeschool students who attend. But it's just one way to kind of like keep the kid social, or kids with the S, social, in social activities. Some of us do agree, though, we talk about this in homeschooling consultations, that these days, the less social interaction that our children have, let's say with cable, with video games, with whatever's going on in the media, and with other kids, they're noticing better results in their children's educational progress, okay? Now, that might not be the same for every kid, but I mean, this is just a fact. Most K through 12 students do end up distracted, do end up dealing with peer pressure, do end up pretty much falling into the wrong crowd of kids, no matter how much potential they have, right? This is something that you want to assess and think about once you start your homeschool journey, how much you are going to allow this child to still, when we talk about social, like I said, it goes for social media too, entertainment, the media, and how often you're going to allow them to interact and become social with other outside influences, like other, for example, guys, I guess I can use my little example real quick. My girls, I might take them to different places where I know kids are going to be. Let's talk about free city parks, right? And this could be just for recreation and recess time, an hour a day. That's number one. So they meet play dates sometimes. They totally meet people at the park, though they might not be in a public school district anymore. This is a way that I'm able to keep the girls social with outside influences, because we know that not only can homeschool seem boring sometimes for children because they're no longer around that like big social interaction group they would have in a public school, they're still getting the chance to see other young people as they go through this process as an educational homeschool student. Then we might do extracurricular activities, swimming classes, dance classes, music classes. Now we know swimming can only be done in person, but something like music classes, art classes, there are total online options, homeschool parents. I hope you're paying attention. Even if you want this child to begin to learn music or sign language, learning how to compose music and stuff like this, because on my next segment we're about to talk about contests and opportunities, not just for homeschool students, but students in general, that you guys can get your children involved in during the summer of 2022. So they're not just sitting around idle at dad's house for the summer or grandma's. Give them a chance to win some cash prizes, writing an essay, or registering with the First Lego League's annual challenge. You wouldn't know stuff like that exists unless we're already looking for ways to keep our children sharp during the summer periods of school years. Some of us homeschool parents have discussed in our forums and consultations how this summer we don't plan on taking a break. That's the beauty of becoming a homeschool parent. We don't plan on taking a break just because, OMG guys, sorry guys, this whole time my microphone was not plugged in. If I do that one more time, it's up here, but it wasn't plugged in. I hope y'all can hear me okay. Yeah, some of us don't plan on taking a break. Like, it's not going to hurt our children to continue reading log activities, keeping their reading and writing skills sharp throughout the summer. Now, a lot of you guys love to put your kids in camps and athletic activities. There's nothing wrong with that. Actually, all I'm trying to say is that I advocate keeping these children not just busy, but some type of educational busy as well, even if it's just participating in writing projects, science clubs, and stuff like this over the summer. These big breaks are really not good. Now, summer breaks, the kids are going to be good, but I'm saying a break in their pattern, in their schedule of learning, okay? So, homeschool parents also have to pay attention to stuff like that. So, you're going to want to research the courses by grade when you begin to homeschool multiple children at home, or even just that one child. You're going to research the courses needed to be obtained and studied and mastered by that child per grade, okay? And then when it comes to end of the year testing, guys, let's talk about that for a second. Yeah, I'm back. So most public school districts do require, I think it's after 3rd, 4th grade in most states, for your child to master and pass a state test. This just kind of proves that your child has pretty much mastered every course and topic that they should have mastered in that grade, in that school year, okay? Now, this varies by state. I think a lot of states have become more lenient as far as whether, if they pass this test or not, they're going to get moved forward or not. So, let me see. I mean, I know the topic I'm trying to explain right here. I'm just trying to show y'all the differences of what state tests or mastery tests should look like for homeschool parents, too. Even keeping this on record that you did test your child at the end of every school year, even if it was from home. Why? Because there are going to be online platform resources that allow you, that either offer this test or, provide you with resources for where your child can take this test, even if it's online. This is going to look like periodic reading tests, guys, for you guys with K through 5 students, okay? Because in public school, I'm not saying y'all got to do it just like this, but kind of explaining why public schools are kind of ran on the type of curriculum programs and planning that they do. maybe every 12 weeks, every 6 weeks with your first, second, and third graders, testing their reading levels just to make sure that, hey, these spelling tests are working, these spelling homework assignments are working, these hooked on phonics programs are working. If they're not working, what is it that this child is not mastering? You can only find out those type of things through tests. This might help you begin to really, really evaluate and see deeply where your child is struggling, where your child is excelling, and where your child needs help, okay? These periodic tests, they can be as periodic as you want them once you begin to homeschool them, okay? So this could be every 6 weeks, every 12 weeks. But that my main point, there's usually always a pretty much end of the year a test, to test everything they've learned from their fall season through that next summer, spring season, making sure that they are ready, even in homeschool, before you move them to a new course by grade, before you elevate them to the next grade level of courses and topics to cover, testing them and making sure that they're even ready for that. Because even when you take them back to school in most states, let's say you homeschool for 2 years, you want your kid to go back to public school. What public school is going to do, number one, they're going to test that child in most of the courses that they should have been studying, even if it was from home, or most of the courses they would have been studying even if they were in school. They just want to test them and see where they are, because of course if that child is on 5th grade level but they test them and they're only showing 3rd grade level results, it might not be the wisest thing to enroll that child for 5th grade, even if that's the grade that they're supposed to be in. So this is why public schools do this. All I was explaining is that it varies by state, but pretty much at this time, most states, and it's been like this for a long way, they have some type of test that students have to take at the end of the year before they advance. We see this with a lot of students where their report cards are exemplary. Their report cards are outstanding, 6 weeks after 6 week after 6 week period. But then when that test comes at the end of the year, we don't understand why that child failed like they did. Like, it doesn't make the child dumb or anything, but that's something to assess. This is why at Crown Publishing Content Foundation we actually do encourage parents, like, hey, when you begin to homeschool, go ahead and test them every 6 weeks. Do your own test. Go ahead and have them tested every 6 weeks to make sure that they are catching on to the material. And this could also help you observe whether the material that you are choosing for that child, depending on what grade level they're in, this could help you determine whether you're using the most efficient material for that child or not. Okay. You want to create a schedule that works for you and your child. We talked about that a little bit already, but there's all we can do is advise tips, because really everybody's lives look different. You got some homeschool parents out here who choose to squeeze their kids' topics and studies in from 6 to 9 p.m. their time, wherever they are in the country or the world, 6 to 9 p.m. because they work a full shift in the daytime. And then their child is at either some child care facility or some child hub, or with a nanny or with a babysitter, because now your child is homeschooled. You're trying to save child care money. We all know child care is expensive, and that's one thing that has not changed throughout the course of a pandemic. What has been available is resources and funding for single parents or married couples who may need assistance with child care so they could continue working through a pandemic. But all I'm saying is some people, they may do courses of study for their children in the evenings, some in the morning, some may work with 2 kids in the morning, the other 2 kids in the evening. I mean, whatever works for you. This is what's creating the perfect schedule for your family is going to look like. Now, your schedule in 2022 might not look like your schedule in 2023 because you just started a new engineering job with the railroad company, and at first you were working at the airport. However that goes, right? But you might still say that, look, I like the pace and I like the results that I'm seeing from me teaching my own child at home. So regardless of what job you shift to or from, this is still a possible option. It's just all going to come down to you creating the right schedule. There are some parents who fit studies in on the weekends, okay? And once again, like I repeated earlier, there are some homeschool moms or wives that are fortunate enough to literally teach these kids 10 hours a day while hubby's at work. They're teaching these kids 10 hours a day, and they're really trying to make the best prodigies and stellar students out of these kids if they are literally requiring them to study 10 to 12 hours a day, okay? These are those little geniuses y'all see running around out here. Sometimes learning can become funner or more enjoyable, or the child can understand even the courses that they study a little bit, or the topics that they're studying in those courses a little bit more when you decide to invest in scheduling related activities that help them to learn the significance of why they're learning something, right? We talked about the museums, for example. There are so many different types of museums, and as homeschool parents, even if this means you taking a family trip, making a family trip / schedule related activity for homeschool, right? Going to visit a historical museum, just because your child learned about Abraham Lincoln over the past 3 weeks or whatever. The history of Civil War, or the history of the Great Depression, or whatever it is that that topic that you were covering in either world history or government history or state history. There's so many levels of history too, guys. So once again, it's gonna look like you choosing to identify certain topics per course study. Of course, you can usually go on most state registry sites or school board sites that will tell you what courses of study are required per grade in your state, okay? As long as you are at least covering those courses, making sure that they're getting the fundamentals, and this is for K through 12, making sure that they're getting the fundamentals of these courses. Once again, all I can advise is that you test them frequently, and then let those test results show you what they need to show you. And I wouldn't just make an assumption off of one test, but I know educators in public school districts, they do their thing a little different because they have a certain curriculum planning to go off of, okay? A certain curriculum directive to stick by. But as a homeschool parent, I just wouldn't, homeschool instructor, I would not judge my child's capabilities off of one 6 weeks test. Let's test you maybe twice every 6 weeks. After that 12th week, if you're still struggling with this, okay, it's time for mommy to possibly invest in a tutor. Then let me assess you and get the tutor's opinion about the progress or the failures that we're still witnessing. Like I said, it takes this kind of stuff for you as a homeschool instructor to be able to assess and observe and see where their child is as far as the topics per course that they are being able to catch on to or not. So statistics just prove that during the pandemic, guys, a lot of kids' reading levels did decrease. I mean, I'm talking about their mastery of concept of reading when it comes to K through 5 students. We probably all can understand why. When I say I've heard so many parents give me the story about how when they were virtual learners, because their parents had to choose that option for many different reasons during the pandemic, their child simply, I don't know, maybe they enjoyed the leisure of going to school from home, but it didn't work out, and they just were not grasping the full concept of subjects. They were not really paying attention like they should have been. They were not turning in assignments like they should have been, or maybe they didn't completely 100% understand how to do these things. That's why it was important for parents to be involved, even while they're virtual learners, because this is no different from you becoming a homeschool instructor. It's just that you're the instructor and there's no virtual instructor anymore. But anyways, this is just what statistics has already proven. Why is Crown Publishing Content concerned? We know that if we have a future of young people who cannot read or write, or who have no interest in education anymore, we're in a lot of trouble. So we're just trying to keep, play our part in society when it comes to making sure that there are resources, referrals, tips, and things like this supplies and tools that homeschool parents can use right on our website, www.contentcrownpublications.com. So you heard me right. Not only are we working with authors and small businesses and entrepreneurs as far as the promotion, marketing, and bookkeeping and those type of things, okay, when it comes to content, we are now playing our part as far as helping homeschool communities across the globe, and that means low-income homeschool parents as well. But I'll go in more detail about what that's going to look like on another segment, because right now what we're doing is getting that website updated for you guys, so you can find those writing contest information and prize awards that are going to be available if your child does or student does participate, deadline dates of these poetry and writing contests, reading club contests and things like this right on my website, okay? Why? We just want to make reading and writing, we want to keep it very exciting and fun and interesting, not just for public school students but for homeschool students too, okay? So these contests will never just be limited to homeschool parents and students, but they'll also be for students K through 12 across the globe, okay? I keep saying low-income homeschool families for a reason. They are literally a whole category of people that I don't know if we ever stop and just ask a lot. Like when we already see parents struggling, hey, do you have all the resources you need to do what you need to do efficiently with those children at home? That's going to look like Wi-Fi, guys. Sometimes that's going to look like digital technology. Sometimes that might look like investing a little something just to take those kids on field trips and, what did I call them? Related activities pertaining to their studies. That stuff is not free or cheap. But once again, Crown Publishing Content Foundation is just, we're willing to play our part in making sure there are resources for low-income families that are still interested in homeschooling their children until some of these parents are able to get on their feet. There's going to be another website by the name of Blossom and Root that is targeting for pre through 4th grade students. This is another platform where homeschool curriculum and even downloading, certain activities or a certain schedule for their grade levels. You can find it on this website. There's going to be one called Mother Goose Time for you with babies from the ages of 3 months to 5 years. Most of you guys are homeschooling those 3-month-old to 5-year-olds anyway from home before they even enter kindergarten and 1st grade. So yeah, you're practically homeschooling these young babies at that age. That's what you're doing. You're teaching them their colors. You're teaching them their ABCs. You're letting them watch PBS, hopefully, or educational related segments on TV because they're at that age where they are just learning the first basics of education and knowledge. So yeah, that's a good website for parents with children of that age. The name of that again is mothergoostetime.com, okay? Time for Learning is another online hub resource platform for homeschoolers, timeforlearning.com, and this is for pre-K through 12th grade students. Living Montessori Now is for pre through 5th grade. You may have to even record this segment and take notes related to the information that I'm giving here because I don't have the video edited, of course, but what I will do is leave the links to a lot of these ones I'm telling y'all about in the comment section. How is that? Don't forget to give this video a like. I'm working hard as far as the research for you guys. Torchlight.com is going to be a platform for pre-K through 4th graders, so you can still find homeschooling curriculum, to go off of. Now, I'm just giving a few resources. There's millions and millions of more on them, and then Crown Publishing Content Foundation has merged into making these resources available to you being able to find curriculum or setting a homeschool consultation with the Crown Publishing Content family and us being able to create either 30-day curriculum, like curriculum for you every 30 days, or we do it for a year, or we do it every 6 months because you don't know yet if homeschool is going to be a best option for you. But these type of services will be available by the fall semester of the 2022-2023 school year. So isn't that exciting? And we're just trying to make things a lot easier for you guys a lot more convenient for you guys that are already homeschool instructors, who already know, or ones that are thinking about becoming them. We're just gonna be another number added to the millions of already homeschool platforms that exist that you can visit to find things like school supplies and tools that you may need to use from home to continue to instruct your children, or working with us to create a curriculum plan for your child. You may have a 3rd grader, a 7th grader, and a 9th grader. It doesn't matter though. You still need help, or maybe tutoring, referrals, resources, and things like these. These are the type of things you're going to be able to find on my website going into August 2022, okay? So really, I'm going to close the segment like this because I've been talking for a minute, but I'm going to close the segment like this, guys. It's so crazy that I wanted to kind of have some statistics for you guys, but I'll inspire you to go do a little research for sure when it comes to this type of topic, because look, guys, when I tell you that there are whole statistics proving that homeschool has just, at the end of the day, become a very trending option and choice for parents across the globe at this time. And some people, yes, they do feel like they were probably forced into that option because of circumstances across the globe. Regardless of how they became homeschool parents, instructors, tutors, and coaches, and even teachers. Some of you guys are virtual teachers out there who are on jobs for homeschool parents. You know who you are. I do give you my kudos. Thank you for being a part of I'm not anybody major. I'm just a homeschool instructor myself. I've never thought about going the virtual route and offering my services to parents yet. But what I am offering you guys is curriculum development help. I will help you write the curriculum, like I said, either by 30-day period or yearly for your homeschool children. So a lot of people have just pretty much chosen this. But at the same time, a lot of kids did return back to school. So I'm not here to knock any version. I just have, I don't want to say more respect, but a little more, because if y'all know what these homeschool parents are out here going through, not in a negative way, but how much more independent they're becoming, trying to remain employed and trying to practically become educators at the same time, right? And be that support system for their children, okay, during such tedious times. So we just want to keep learning, reading, writing, activities like these, not just relevant, but fun for the babies out there on the K through 12 level. We, like I said, are going to have our own writing contest, poetry contest, where they can win awards, gift cards, stuff like that, to get these guys back excited about reading and stuff like that. But yes, y'all go look at the statistics. Homeschool is just practically the next big thing. Y'all saw that also parents working from home was. I'll do a separate segment. There's already really a lot of YouTubers who share resources for you guys when it comes to jobs that are hiring from home in the new era. A lot of companies just do business virtually now. This could look like you possibly working from home, either part-time or full-time, even 2 part-time jobs if you have to do that virtually from home and still coaching your kids, especially if you're a single parent. I'll do like a separate segment on that, just ways that you can remain employed, you can remain, or you can still receive resources and assistance while you work because you're a homeschool parent. You probably didn't know that, but there are grants out here for parents like you, because the day you became a homeschool instructor, you practically started your own homeschool platform. You just don't know it, right? We'll have these type of discussions for the parents. This was more like what homeschool consultations with Crown Publishing Content look like, the type of things that we discuss type of segment. What beginning your homeschool journey is going to look like, that's what this segment is. Okay, in the description and the comment section, guys, you are going to find my booking link if you want to talk more to me about homeschool and how I can connect you with resources, tools, and supplies that you may need. Yes, this is going to include school supplies and devices. And Wi-Fi, of course, okay? Even if it gets to the basis of transportation or whatever, we just want to connect you. If we don't have the resources at Crown Publishing Content Foundation, most definitely directing you to the right places that do help parents in your shoes. Okay, thank you guys for clicking on my video, tuning in with me. If you enjoyed some of the information I shared today, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. We appreciate your support, and until next time.